Okay, we'll go ahead and call the order at 6.
We have that, right?
Yeah.
So
Call the order at 6:10. Please rise. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Luis, you want a roll call? It is 6:10 on October 20th.
Patty Drew. Here. TJ Hecox.
Here.
Ryan Dietrich.
Here.
And Jan Zonger.
Here.
Mike Womack is not present.
Bring us to 3.0. Everybody had a chance to review the agenda. And last
No
one's
changes.
Well, I did want to add 8.5, if we could, to just discuss board goals. If we're good with that, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda, the consent agenda.
I motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion made by Director Dietrich. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Director Songer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Carries. Public comment. We do have one public comment tonight. Terry Deweese. You can come up or stay there either way. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll stay here. Hello, my name is Terry Deweese, and I'm here tonight to share my experience with the property management company the district has hired to oversee district-owned housing. As the board is aware, my family has lived in district housing, and we were asked to make a space for the upcoming principal and move, and we have been offered a different district-owned unit within the fourplex. We had a move-out agreement with the district and a set move date of September 20th. We spent time working with the district to ensure that the unit was ready for that move-in date, including my daughter and I going to finish the cleaning the unit ourselves. However, we were not provided a move-out agreement or lease by a loom, and those were still being drafted well past the move date of September 20th. I want to say September 29th, I was still being told they were still being drafted. And I believe we received it the beginning of October. Continued delays caused by incomplete paperwork have pushed that date back multiple times. But now the property management company has threatened to revoke our opportunity to move into the new unit unless we sign lease agreements that continue to contain incorrect information, including inaccurate dates, financial terms, and paperwork that does not reflect the move-out agreement made with the district. Despite repeated requests, we have yet to receive a corrected agreement from the loom that reflects that term, the terms that were negotiated with the district. Although we have been told all our communication needs to be with the loom, I'm here tonight to respectfully ask the district to support tenants during this significant transition. We would like communication that is clear and consistent so that our move can be completed in a timely manner as was originally planned and agreed upon by the district. I'd also like to ask the district to review the lease terms and allow for reasonable negotiations, such as permitting tenants to use grills more than 10 feet from units and allowing students to practice their school instruments during appropriate hours without violating lease terms. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. I don't really have any feedback. I don't really understand, I guess, the clarity of issues working with the new property management company is causing issues.
We have still not received a lease or a move-out agreement that reflects what has been made with the district. So we have still not been able to move.
So the district's still we're still putting up the principal in town.
Correct. Yep.
So we're still.
Yep.
Yeah. 5.0 financial report. Anybody have any questions on? I think I saw this. Anything on that, Tammy, you need? Or good?
No, nothing that's of any note. Just to say that the business office, our audit started a couple of weeks ago, and I guess they're still working on it. So,
Okay, we'll have fun with that. 6.0, principal report, unless you have something.
No, I did not receive, I messaged him also inviting him at least here virtual. I didn't receive anything from him, so, I have nothing from him unless he's on there.
Okay, well, 7.0, old business policy reviews. We have our second reading on those.
I know I went through these with you guys the last time. If you have any other questions, let me know. I mean, there's nothing, in my opinion, nothing major, nothing shocking here.
I did read through them and I didn't see anything that was out of the ordinary or anything. So I think they're fine.
So if we are good with that, I would take a motion to approve those.
What would?
Patty's really good.
I didn't lie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I have a question though. There's just a couple of minor typos in the listing of all the various policies. So I don't mind reading them all, then I can point out the little bloopers as I go, if that helps.
Yeah, that might be.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll make a motion to accept the policy to delete JFCEB, personal electronic devices and social media. And the next word electronic just has the O and the R reversed in order. It says electronic devices and social media.
which one is that again? I'm sorry.
It's the first policy, the second one, revised JFCEB, personal electronic devices.
It's the third line.
Sorry, it's the third one.
Third
Delete,
line.
the one that we're deleting,
Oh,
it says personal electronic devices. And,
Spelling.
okay, and then we'll accept the proposed JFCEB-AR request for personal electronic devices exception. Delete J,
There's a spelling right there for exception.
oh yes, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. And delete JHCA, physical examinations of students. Accept the proposed JHCA and the immunization needs to be respelled. School sports participation, concussions, and other brain injuries policy.
Participation isn't correct also.
Yes, it is. Okay. Thank you. We will accept the JO/IGBAB-AR education records of students with disabilities management. Accept the current JOA directory information / revised JOA directory information / IGBAB / JO-AR education, and then the word records needs to be respelled / records of students with disabilities management. Original IGBHD program exemptions, revised IGBHD program exemptions, IKF graduation requirements. Do we have a second?
I will second with the corrections, or All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Okay. Could new business, 8.1, Division 22.
All right, so Division 22, I'll go through these as an annual compliant with the state of Oregon ODE, reaches out to make sure that the district is in compliant with a whole series of standards. So I'm not going to go through each and every one of these that's in your packet, but I'll hit and miss a few of them. But if you have any questions, please let me know here. All right, so first, do you guys have these in your board packet?
Yeah.
So the first one category is high quality learning experience for all students. The first three, like I said, I'm going to go through some, but not all of them here. Dictate through the diploma requirements, whether that's modified or extended, and we are in compliant with that in the district. Also attendance, certificate of attendance. Do we have a policy and procedure for the district for those who do as well? Again, I'm going to just hit and miss a few things here. Career education at CTE, careers counselor. We have an agricultural program. Do we have a guidance system put in place for students beyond post-secondary here? We do. Same thing is for PE requirements. So they have different minutes for K through 6 is 150 minutes. A week in 6th through 8th grade is 150 minutes. We offer 240 minutes here in the district. And let's see what else is here. I'm jumping down. Instructional materials adoption. So we just had an adoption last year with the early childhood literature. We're doing a health adoption this year. We also have social sciences for middle school and high school this year.
I do have one question.
Mhm.
On the one, the assessment for essential skills and diploma requirements, is that waived for every school district or just us?
Which page you on?
3.
If it says it's waived,
Mhm.
that's for all.
That's for everybody.
That's for all. That's for all districts, yeah.
Because there's a couple of them. I wasn't sure if that was just for us or for everybody. Okay.
And then I'm still in the blue section on the second page, teacher training related to dyslexia. Traditionally, we've had one teacher trained this year with our early childhood literacy grant fund that we have. We promoted all of our elementary teachers, including pre-K, to go through some training. I believe at the moment we have 3, potentially a 4th one getting ready to go. So we're well covered in our district for training in that aspect of it. Beneath that, programs and services for TAG students, we were not compliant, I believe, last year. I have to look at it. It was either last year or the year prior. I think it was last year as we built that program. And now that we have a special programs director in here, which is our preschool promise, and our SPED director, Suzanne Harris. She's already began work with Heather McVeigh, our elementary TAG coordinator, and Connor Veit, our high school, middle school TAG coordinator. In fact, she just came in this morning and but I gave her the document. She's going to be working with these individuals next week to start the process of identifying TAG students in our district, which has been a long time coming. So it's another aspect of us getting in compliance with the state of Oregon. So that's the whole blue section. Again, that was the high quality learning experiences for all students. And then the green, aligned and focused educational systems. So that's our state assessments. The ones that students can opt out of. And I will say, those reports did come out for all of Clatsop County and the whole state of Oregon, and Jewel did quite well. I will say, because of our class sizes, that they did not delineate it down to the small classrooms, but we did a whole school setting. And for English language arts, we were the highest in Clatsop County. And for math, we were even with the rest of the districts. We were second if you're counting our location of the other districts. And then science, we did incredibly well. We were well above everybody in Clatsop County. At the state level, we were near the top. I think about 64%. Again, it's debatable because this is an opt-in and opt-out type of assessment for the district here or for the state. Credit options, yes, we have those all well split out through our student handbooks and through board policy. And what else is there? I don't want to go through all of them, bore everybody here. Our records and reports, we have a great system here for records management and public reporting. Oftentimes compliance by the state of Oregon's ODE, or Department of Education, we are held accountable for many reports that we have on a website, with our district here. Let's see, standardization. Standards are meant to be a standard district in the state of Oregon that includes requirements for curriculum and instruction, district policies, human resources, performance, and accountability. We have all those measures in place for the district. Another one, special education with children with disabilities. You know that I have put a lot of work in this past summer, this spring into the summer, to get our special education program audited. And if you haven't heard about that, you'll hear more about that in my superintendent goals and whatnot for the year. But we are transforming our SPED department big time. I mean, I'm talking pretty big here in the district, and it's going very, very well. Identification of academically talented and intellectually gifted students, that in alignment with the tag aspect of it, as I mentioned before. Our special programs coordinator, Suzanne Harris, will do that.
So are we compliant on that?
We are compliant, yes, on all of these. Yeah.
Just to have this for.
Oh, it's part of it.
Oh,
Yes, it's part of the continuation of the other one. Daily class sizes, there's no cap by the state of Oregon. I don't think we're concerned about our daily sizes, other than how small is allowed to be a class of 1 or 2. Is that too small for our district? So we do have those conversations. We had them last year as we were programming for classes. Let's see, and then personnel, administrative rules, establish comprehensive requirements for hiring, management, evals, ensuring staff are qualified, supported, and held to professional standards. And those are continuations with our new principal, making sure he's going through those standards right now when he's talking with our staff here. So compliant for those. I don't know if this is red or orange or burnt brown, but engage partners and communities. Veterans diploma, yes, we do. School and district performance report criteria. So annual reports that track the school's compliance with the state's minimum standards for public education. And that's partly what the Division 22 standards are, also with some of the reports we have going through ODE as well. Individual student assessment, record keeping and reporting. Districts must assess and record each student's progress in relation to the Oregon academic content standards. So that's formative and summative assessments through our classrooms. It's our grades. It's our interim assessments that you may see coming out, such as progress reports for families and whatnot. So those are components we're putting into place. The district maintains comprehensive records, including state provided data as well. So we keep all those things on file through our Synergy program, and then also through our CUBE files for our students in the district. And then let's see, complaint procedures following state mandated educational standards for curriculum instruction and student support to ensure baseline level of service for all students. And then ODE oversees this compliance, requires districts to report annually. This is this right here. So when I announced that we were not compliant a couple years with a couple items, I was just waiting for ODE to get a hold of us, and they did. And it wasn't to push a thumb on us, it was saying, how can we help you get compliant? And so it's very, very amicable work with them. Okay, purple or whatever the cover of this might be, here, a category safe and exclusive schools. Policies and reporting of child abuse. And so I know we put a lot of work in with our onboarding, some changes with our onboarding for new staff, for volunteers, through our policy changes and updates, as well as our training procedures through the district. And that is continuing to be, and it always will be a top priority of the district here. Let's see, safety of school sports concussions. You just passed one of our policies here that talks about concussions and other brain injuries. That's an example of continue to stay up on board and compliant with the state of Oregon here. Let's see, healthy and safe schools plan. So a plan to mitigate environmental hazards. They have 5 areas. I'm just going through some of these: radon testing management, lead in the water testing, which Mr. Hinson does every single morning at our water facility. Lead and paint, integrated pest management. That's on today's board policy or board meeting agenda as well. And carbon monoxide detection. Let's see, fire, earthquake, safety threats. That's our emergency plans and safety protocols. We had an earthquake drill last week. We had a fire drill also the day before or after. And we followed the I Love You Guys protocol. And so that's all the different things that take place, whether it's a small emergency, medium, large emergency, or whatnot. We have all those training protocols in here. And then we have a safety team that meets 1 time a month. We move them from 3rd Thursdays, I think, to the 4th Mondays of the month. So next Monday, we have our first Monday safety team meeting. And we've invited our resident deputy here, Jacober, and Chief Davis, who has already agreed to attend this meeting as well, which is one of the reasons we moved, because he could attend that day. We wanted that in there. Let's see, annual report of restraint and seclusion. So that is disciplinary measures reported to ODE. That would be the number of incidences, the students involved, injuries, and locations. And then if there's any use of seclusion rooms and steps taken to reduce the use of seclusion rooms. So those things we have to report on annually to ODE. I'll do one more here. Auxiliary services, that's our transportation services, school food services, custodial services, equipment and material, and the facility as well. And I know we have ODE is coming in to do an evaluation of our transportation department. Ms. Lehman's been working on that pretty hard the last few weeks here, and we don't have a schedule yet, but they're going to be coming out here, and it happens, I think, once every 5 to 6 years. So I have not seen one of these come through, but they'll be coming out here to basically audit our transportation department to make sure we're following what we need to be doing. And I'll just jump to the last one, committed and supportive staff. Let's see, I'll jump to the second one, teacher, administrator evaluation and support. So it's a 4-point scale through the Danielson model that our principal and our staff utilize. They work through collaborative goals where they meet individually with their principal and set those goals together. And then he measures them on multiple ways to evaluate them. They talk about how that looks for the district, again, through the Danielson model. And then they go through the evaluation cycle, which I have on my wall. I've shared that with him. He now has access to that as well, to the Google Drive that we have in the district. And we have the evaluation cycle already spelled out for the next 3 to 4 years for our district already. And then they collaboratively develop some plans moving forward in terms of what was observed and feedback in their after eval meeting here. And the last one, core teaching standards, which are adopted by the state board for all teacher evals. They outline what teachers should know and be able to do to support student growth and learning. These are front and central to our classrooms and teachers. All teachers must know those teaching standards. And that's again happening through our evals and check-ins with our principal in the district here. So that's, I mean, I guess I won't go through all of them, but if you have any questions specifically, this is not a board approved. It is open for public comment also. I know Shelley's online, so you can send an email or she can send a hand up as well. But that is the Division 22 for 20, it should say for 24, 25 going into this year.
Well, I feel pretty good about being in compliant with everything. That's a good thing. We've had a few in the past where we've kind of been, okay, we need to look on that.
But there's a few where there's no even gray areas. It's just we don't know.
Okay, 8.2, superintendent goals.
Okay, let me get my thoughts here. So this all really portrays a little bit to, I know TJ and I talked about putting board training on a new business, but also the board goals. This all really falls into one another. And I had a conversation with TJ about my goals as a superintendent. I need to jive a little bit with the board's goals. And I worked with you guys enough to have a general consensus, but to build those opportunities as an actual unit with the administration and the school board is where I like to move forward as we go on, throughout the rest of this year and the next year. And so I was talking to TJ, he asked me about what some of my goals might be. So I listed a whole bunch of things here. I said, this is what I'm currently working on. So I'm going to read them through, and then I've kind of outlined them a little bit more here. So goal number 1, systemic infrastructure and capacity building for sustainable district growth. And I put my goal statement by the end of June 2026, or by June 2026, design, implement, and document key structural improvements that build long-term capacity in critical district operations. And that's focusing on special education. I just mentioned that a moment ago. And there's a reason I did a SPED audit last spring, because I wanted to make sure I knew what I was thinking about, where we needed to grow in the district. And that was where I thought there's a lot of work to be done here, and we need to do this. And I'm not going to wait for the state to come after us on this one. HR systems. If you've been involved at all in our central office discussions about HR and our frontline central time and attendance, there's some areas of frustrations, and still is currently, but we're working through that right now. And I put down fiscal responsibility also, because if we're going to go to the state school fund some point, which I hope not, but if we do, I want to know down to almost the exact penny, what are we spending on our employees? And I want to know if when they're clocking, when they're clocking out, and how much time we're building for a budget. We need to know what we're going to be building for a budget, specifically if you're going on state school fund. It's a little guessing game already to some extent, but we need to know pretty accurately what we're asking for. Water infrastructure. So I know I mentioned to you that I've already had conversations a month ago with the water hydrogeologist, and that is still at very beginning stages. And I'm going to be pushing to find answers and conversations. I've had a couple of conversations with some community members already who have vital access to some water here, and they've been, I think, pretty fruitful conversations. Also, facilities and maintenance leadership succession in order to ensure sustainable growth, operational resilience, and being prepared for the next stage of growth for our building with somebody coming on board who will literally own this campus and the site here. And so I put down on a different piece of paper here. So special ed, refine and stabilize the program through staffing, professional development, and improved service delivery models, how we deliver information to our stakeholders, and that's families and our students and our district as a whole, and the state of Oregon. The HR systems, working through launching and supporting. I'm trying to smile here a little bit because this has been rough, not on our end, but it's just a lot. To train our staff for frontline time and attendance, to improve cost tracking of employee-related expenses to support future transition to the state school fund model. As I said a minute ago, I said maintenance and operations succession, develop and implement a transition plan for the retiring maintenance manager, including a job profile, hiring timeline, and onboarding strategies for bringing somebody else on board. The last one I had put in was the water infrastructure in collaboration with Justin, I forget his last name here, but one of our water hydrogeologists and stakeholders complete a report and develop an action plan for long-term water security for the district. Now, what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to promise you we're going to have long-term answers for this, but I want to get that process started so we can start going down that road, see what we can do to make sure we've got water. And I can share other times as we go on a little bit more about the measurable, how I want to, at least in my mind, how it's suggest we measure some of those goals as best we can. Obviously, you have your own ways of doing that as well, but I was throwing some ideas here. Goal 2 is advancing instructional excellence, student opportunity, and community engagement. Now, you've seen community engagement before as well, on a couple other ones as well. So through collaborative instructional leadership and community-centered visioning, the district will strengthen district instructional systems. I'm going to pause for a moment because that does go back into some of the board goals also in my mind about concept I'll bring up when you guys start talking about that a little bit, because it does involve community for sure. Enhance early learning access, expand student academic and career opportunities, and foster inclusive, data-informed cultural engagement for all stakeholders. So on my other form here, what I put down, so for the early learning expansion, so build and align the preschool promise model to strengthen early elementary outcomes in district-wide enrollment pipelines. So working with our SPED director, who is actually our preschool promise director, on how do we work on marketing our preschool program to the community. So we are funneling kids into the district. How do you market the educational components that are taking place in there with the preschool promise program? We've got a really strong teacher in there, and we've got a special programs director who is just as strong as well. And so I feel like we have an avenue there to really invite our upcoming population into our preschool promise program. Instructional leadership and PDs. So Guy, our principal, implementing consistent high quality professional development aligned with MPSS practices. We've talked about that for 2 years, and grade level team data. And so we're, again, very early stages. I know he's working on grade level team meetings. And I asked him outside of this meeting, I said, I want him to explain to everybody what grade level team meetings are the next time he's here. And not to be disrespectful, I just want to make sure that everyone's understanding all these different educational terminologies that we're using that some of us may not hear on an everyday basis. I want him to explain what those are.
That'd be most of us.
We appreciate that.
Well, just being honest, because when you said grade level team meetings, then we moved on. No fault of him at all. I just thought, I don't know if everybody knows what that is. And that's a big component of what we're doing at the current moment. Curriculum and program development oversee updates in the health/sex education curriculum, which is again for the adoption last year and wrapping up the high school. It's on your agenda as well. We talked about it last month, and I'll talk about it again tonight. Support the new CTE program, agriculture, but also our current program as well. Construction, and with the potential looking at welding, something we've been working pretty hard with our stakeholders to get that back up and running. Dual credit, continue to work with our staff in our building. We have, I believe, fire sciences on board at this moment. We have 9 dual credit opportunities for our district. I'll spiel a little bit later and throughout the year about our community college, of how, I'll be careful I say this, I want more from our community college. That's community college for our students. I'll express what that means at another time. Our music program, I feel like its footing is coming back a little bit again. Want to make sure to continue to support that. And then the last one is support AI exploration, integration in instruction. We saw some AI policies come through last month or so, and there's going to be more discussion. I have Suzanne Harris in my office today talking about one of the meetings or conferences she went to and talking about how AI might make an impact on special education. And I said, please feed me more information on that one. I'm almost done, I'm sorry. Equity and engagement, continue to lead it's district's requirement, for all districts, excuse me, the state of Oregon's requirement for the equity committee. And I have something here tonight for the community voices panel that I talked to you about beginning that community voices panel, which again is equity committee. I've morphed it into a few other things beyond just what the state of Oregon's required. And then for OD, let me see, sorry. And then student community voice continue to build through 4-H, FFA, PTO, and cultural events that take place in the district. And the last one is culture and climate, promote a culture of feedback. If I say Galen Emanuel, you know what I'm talking about. I referenced him last month. We referenced him at the end of the school year. This is a climate culture professional coming to the district to work with us. And we talk about culture of feedback, psychological safety in the building, which is very important. Staff support, strengthening the district's identity as a safe and innovative learning environment. And so there's been a lot of work already done with climate and culture, and we're still pushing through that, which with a much more definitive feedback from staff. I think 34, 35 roughly staff members in our last survey we just did with Gail Emanuel's team. And we're building our DNA right now. We're formulating a team to go through that process to build some cultural norms for the district that are going to be eventually embedded into our hiring processes and also our evaluation process. And I'm talking about how you have each other's backs in the district and you provide feedback. Could be challenging feedback, but one of open communication, and not struggles. Negative struggles, let me rephrase that. So these are all currently we're working on. So I've tried to lump them in a number of items here, but I've got my Google Docs already started and I'm starting to flood them into these folders. So at some point, I don't know when it's appropriate to share them out to you. So I don't feel like it just floods you with everything at one time. I'm thinking sometime before the holiday break, I open them up and you guys can start perusing through them if you'd like to. Those are my couple spots here.
I need to backtrack on agenda item 8.1, division 22. It says it's an action item. Are we taking action on that? Okay.
No, that was just discussion, open for feedback. Those are the goals I put in place for this year.
Sounds good.
There's a lot in there, but
Yeah, good goals.
Come on.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can have a little bit of discussion on board goal stuff at the end on that as well, but I think to me, we had discussion several years ago on board goals with a different superintendent and pretty much different board. So I think it's something that we need to try to have a focus of what we envision as a district for goals, to where if we're not here, then we're still kind of, whoever's in Corey's seat or something still has kind of an idea of what we're looking. I mean, it could change, but I mean, it'd be nice to have a long-term goal. We talked about even having it kind of, put on the walls, painted on or something to kind of show as you walk in the building, here's where we're trying to get to, and it could be 20, 30, 40, 50 years, 100 years down the road. So anyway.
Is that part, are you going to still speak about that?
Yeah, I will when we,
Okay.
if anybody else has any, I sent an email to all the board about the ideas that they wanted to.
Okay.
It's been fine. I jotted down a few. So.
Okay.
8.3 OSBA elections. And I guess I was confused. Are both the candidates that we have running, are they both for the same position? They're separate positions, so there's only one per, okay. So that is an action item, so we do need to, if we're all in favor of supporting the two that are running for the two positions. The one is, I believe, Vernonia, right? Vernonia's
Yeah, he's been
superintendent.
on forever.
Been there forever, yeah, because he was out of training. Right?
Yeah.
So,
And she was too.
yeah.
She was too.
So I don't have any questions. I would be fully supportive of them. everybody, if you want to review it a little bit, that's fine.
I think she was at our training also.
Mhm.
He's kind of the chair, isn't he?
That's what I understood.
I think he is, because, I mean,
Right,
honestly, he's been there forever. I mean, I
Right.
don't remember him ever not being on there, so.
so maybe it's time for him to go. Can we vote him out?
Yeah, but there's nobody to replace him.
That's true. Never mind. Just kidding.
And I guess he does an okay, I mean, everything that I've seen, he does an okay job.
Yeah. He seemed pretty responsive there, and if you have any questions,
Right.
reach out. He was
I mean, very active. I mean, he's very involved. It's not
Yeah.
like he just sits there and does nothing. He's very involved in what's going on at OSBA.
So if we're good, we will take a motion to support the two candidates.
I motion that we support the two candidates. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, that's fine. I
Because
don't
they're
think we have the
running
name on, there's only two, so
They're
they're
running
two separate
unopposed.
positions.
I motion that we move forward with our support of the two candidates for the OSBA elections.
Made by Director Dietrich. Do you have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that. And then TJ, you put in the vote for us, basically, is that how it works?
Yeah, so we all, they're all supportive, and then
Yeah.
the one vote from our district.
Okay.
Correct? I think that's-
Yeah, I'll send it in.
So Director Singer, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all opposed? Yeah. 8.4 board training, that was just kind of an update I wanted to, I know, Patty and Jan had spent all day there. Or most of the day, right?
It was wonderful.
Okay.
I can't say enough about the board training that PACE gave us.
Good.
And I picked up all of their little brochures. And I think it's really important that we get a hold of PACE and have them come out and do the training on field trips, especially field trips, on tort claims and about
Liability.
liability. I mean, it was just, I just sat there and shook my head going, oh my gosh. And
More field trips.
about the field trips and senior field trips
I know.
and about seeing your
They are
class.
doom and gloom all the time, right? Because they're the ones that they have to look at everything.
But it's just, I mean, and especially about the senior trip.
Anything overnight, yeah.
Yeah, anything overnight. I mean, it was just stuff that I have never thought about that comes up obviously routinely for them that we need to start thinking about, especially on these seniors. We want no part of it. I mean, serious. School needs to stay out of the senior trip. As far as,
Yeah, if they're
Money,
if they're going.
as far as
anywhere.
travel after graduation,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, never after graduation, ever.
see, they wanted after graduation,
Currently, yeah, that's,
really?
I will not.
But, and they said, and the money, that, because the school can get involved with the money and it's a nightmare. I mean, anyway, it would be real nice to have them
They have
come
the
out
training.
and sit through this as a training and go through it and say, you know, this and this and this, and if we do this, then, I mean, they don't prohibit it,
Mhm.
but they truly discourage a lot of this because of the liability for this district. So, and then the one on sexual predators, oh my goodness, that was, and Superintendent from Clask and I was there, and they had them come out and do it with the classified and the certified. And because of that training, they got 2 sexual predators out of their district. And it was because of the bus drivers. Making them aware, having them aware of the signs that go along with this, that they were not aware of. And after they had this training, they did it. I mean, they got 2 sexual predators out of their district. So I think that's well worth it just right there.
We have a in-person training coming in November,
Mhm.
and we're doing 2 sessions.
Uh-huh.
So, anybody who can't be here after after
Mhm.
school will be here
Mhm.
in the morning, so the bus drivers, so everybody will be here.
Mackenzie next.
Now, is that from PACE?
Mhm.
It was, they were so good. I mean, I was very, I mean, some of those
It's an eye-opener.
seminars are just horrible. You just sit,
This was very,
Was it Mackenzie Nix?
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Well, I'll be at the,
That's who we're getting.
But I was just, the base programs that we went to, they were just outstanding,
Good.
all of them, that they did, so.
so yeah, we can reach out and try to see if we can maybe, I know some of the timing, you know, most of their classes were less than an hour per
Yeah,
unit,
Yeah.
right? So maybe we can look at it at night, we can do something like a board workshop prior to a meeting.
mhm. And I was thinking that when you guys do your Wednesday,
PD.
maybe try to schedule one of these every quarter or something so that everybody gets a chance to see these trainings before, just be aware of the information that was there.
We could even try to do it, you know, for convenience, maybe try to do the board workshop on a Wednesday if we can. I mean,
Yeah.
we can get whoever we can get to show up to do it, and then that way they're here for PD afterwards.
Because it's very, very worthwhile. And it just really opened your eyes, very much so.
You have anything else, Jan? You thought it was
No,
great,
I'd
didn't
end up repeating her. It was
Yeah.
same.
Brian and I did the end of it on the ethics and the board training and stuff, so, it was more just the requirement portion of it, but, which I thought they did a good job.
I mean, there was so much coming
Right.
out of the legislature, it was impossible
Yeah.
to remember all of it and going, oh my God, who did this and why? I mean, some of this stuff is just ridiculous, but it's there, we have to abide by it, so it was just.
And I think the value of that training was that they encapsulated it into bullet points and made it easy to get it out to us within the time allotted. It was worthwhile.
I mean, I moan and complain about going to those, but this one was very worthwhile.
Really, because it was dark out. I mean, that was the worst part of the drive. Okay, so 8.5 board goals discussion again, and I jotted down some of the stuff that I recalled from last time and I think I maybe added a little bit more to it, but I think the biggest takeaway that we discussed was basically how to trying to keep our kids and our teaching staff engaged in the school was a big thing I recalled. You know, trying to focus on personalized learning with small groups with our size and our staff. I think we do a pretty good job of that anyway. Community partnerships, which, you know, some of that's kind of working with some of the goals you already have there too. Local businesses, organizations, hands-on skills, trades, timber, ag work, and nonprofits. So we're kind of hitting on all that as well again. Trying to boost extracurricular flexible clubs or outdoor programs for social growth for our students to try to get out of the bubble here in Jewel, I think is huge. And I think Jewel's always done a pretty good job of trying to get them out of there until after Patty's field trip training. Now we can't go anywhere. But so they can watch it on Zoom.
Now they're
Yeah.
now they're stuck in the bubble.
We ain't going anywhere now. But anyway, well, hopefully we can figure out, you know, we can keep that stuff going. Teacher retention, you know, and offer the training, which we've always done here, building in-house when we can. That was a big one on the deal. And mental health, early intervention programs, community facilities programs to help with community partnerships. And there's some USDA grants out there and stuff like that, which I think Martha's tapped into some of that, right? So that's very, that was just some of the stuff that I recall. But every time as I was writing this, it was like, oh, we're already kind of doing a lot of this stuff. So, and I think having a bigger vision as far as sustainability here is huge, right? We have funding issues, but you know it's always going to be funding issues. I mean, right now we're in the bowels of it, but I mean I think we're going to be fighting that even when we're not suing the government.
Well, I think also enrollment, we've got to try to do something to get our.
Which enrollment's picking back up again.
It
right?
Is
is.
it, what are we at now?
119, which is about 4 or 5 more than last year. So I mean, it's a small uptick, but it's
And it's like 30% now.
But as TJ's mentioned also, I had a discussion with Sam, and I think you were in the room also, I discussed it as well, about the district, and it's been a while, I know it's been a while, a strategic plan for the district. And there's organizations out there, and so I've been looking at different organizations out there that come in and grab community input, staff input, student input, and literally is building the vision of the district for the next 4 or 5 years. And that is something that we need to have in front of ODE when we adjust and we change those things. And with the turnover you've had in the district, prior to myself in the administration field, there's been nothing, as you mentioned. If I'm not in the chair or the board's not in the chair, what is that vision? Well, I can tell you, my wife's school district over in Astoria just completed their strategic plan, and it's all laid out, it's mapped out, it's ready to go for the next 4 to 5 years or so. And so if Mr. Hoppus is ready to get up and leave, or the principals, or whatever, there it is. It's ready to go. And that's the vision of the community at large. So I looked up, I believe it's Point North. I think it was one that did the one for Astoria School District. So I've got that up on one of my 50 tabs on one of my windows here. Looking at that one, I know there's a couple other also strategic plan organizers or event helpers, as you might call it. I don't know the cost. I'm looking at Tammy for that one because I don't know if that's something we could put in or budget and get that going at some point, but or if we use one of our grants, one of our federal grants to get that going. But that would be something I definitely would say the board would be heavily involved with the rest of the community as well. So just throwing that out there. That I'm looking at that.
Did you guys have anything else as far as grand visions? I mean,
Just-
what-
Make it so we're here. I mean, we can't let go. We've got to make strides all the time too. But we've got to make sure our building is taken care of too. You know, got to have, Ron said, got to have water.
Yep.
We got to fix all that. Got to make sure our building stays secure. And we hire good teachers to keep our kids.
I guess, yeah, everything that we've discussed, right, is in my mind, all second place to infrastructure goals, right? We have to have infrastructure in place so that everything else follows that, right? You have to have a roof over your head, you have to have water, right? Everything else behind that, and this is my opinion only, comes second place to that. Without the basics, right?
Well, we have
of-
to have a safe building,
right.
safe place
That's
for
right.
these kids to come.
Yeah, we're, like you said, TJ, you're always gonna have funding issues, right? You're always gonna have staffing issues. You're always gonna have upticks or declines in student, staff population, what have you, right? But that is all, that's just the way it works, right?
Well, yeah, if we don't have a building, they're not
None of
coming.
it's worth fighting for,
Or the
or,
maintenance plan for, okay, we have a
That's
great
right.
building now, but
that's right.
we need to plan for, whatever part needs to be replaced next. If it's 30 years, 40 years down the
Right.
road, we need to have a plan.
But also, as I mentioned before, we're planning for, if we do go to state school fund, making sure, you mentioned before, generators or whatever, making sure that there's a vision moving forward about when is this going to get replaced, what's the time frame for the lifespan of this thing and so forth, so we can make some adjustments and prepare for them.
So that's where my heart lies when talking about goals for the school components in the district we're in.
Okay. So we can reach out to also to maybe have some training on that if we want to try to really focus on us. I think the strategic plan would be great to have that kind of going, because that's going to be, hopefully we can get community buy-in and get some, or at least involvement. Maybe with the community outreach program stuff going on, that'll be good. Because in the past, we don't necessarily always have the greatest response from the community when we ask them for something.
All we gotta do is have a football game.
Well, I mean,
Have
yeah,
you seen-
I mean, I do agree. I mean, the games have been good and turnouts. If we had a little booth and tried to corner people as they came in, that might be the great way to
Yeah.
do it, because otherwise,
I mean, I was shocked and amazed at how many people showed up for those football games.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was wonderful. I mean,
Even-
support.
Even here right now.
well, Elise wasn't there last time, so I had to do the chains.
I saw.
So, although I got a good view of the games. Those
Yeah, I like doing the
Yeah.
chains.
No one's interrupting you. Yeah. Good boy, I thought we already did this. 9.0 superintendent report.
I'll be relatively quick. So the Community Voices panel update. So this letter is going to be going out to individuals here throughout this week here. So basically, I just said this panel is being established to serve as a diverse community-based advisory group to the superintendent with its core responsibilities, including the four things: advising the district on matters of student outcomes, inclusive practices, and equity as guided by Senate Bill 732. Reviewing and providing feedback on district policies. For example, we've had discussions before that as I send this information off to them and you guys, they provide some feedback that I can share with the board as well. And then identifying what's working well, what might need to be changed, adjusted, or improved to better serve our students, and then supporting a positive student-centered culture and district and climate through ongoing dialogue and collaboration. So that kind of fits all components. I know Mr. White had talked about a different acronym that he used when he was in Alaska, and it's the same context of taking these ideas and melding them into one unit instead of just visualizing the district policies and procedures. We're going to throw a whole bunch of them in here. So I will be sending this out. The letter's all done and completed. I'm looking for about a team of 5 to 7. I only have 3 interested to be on this committee already, and they'll meet monthly. And whether they have a representative or not, it's not required. That could come to the board meetings and discuss. They are at least required to come to my office, the representative, and have discussions about what goes through their meetings. So any
We
comments?
talked about that a while ago with having somebody do a report to the board a little bit or something.
Yeah, the state made an adjustment that it no longer had to be a requirement for school districts of a certain size. And we definitely need that for them to report to the board. It's now superintendent. Yeah. Want to keep going? Go ahead. All right, so panic alarm system update. A lot together with this. So I've asked Abby to go ahead and reach out to a couple organizations. One of them she reached out to was the Raptor Technologies and Verkada, which is our current alarm system and security camera system. She has a meeting with them. It's either today or sometime this week. I don't know. I just knew it was this week to talk about what it would look like for them. That system would be much more frugal with the costs. We're talking just 2 or 3 wireless buttons that would be located in the building. We don't have any plans yet exactly where those will be located, but she's gonna have that communication with them and find out what that process looks like and how much it costs. On the other spectrum, she went, provided me some quotes and discussions. She had about an hour-long training with the Raptor Technologies. And let's see, she said that, make sure I don't want to read all this to you. So based off of Alyssa's law requirements in Oregon did pass this to have discussions at the board level for these type of alarms to go through. We don't have to do this, but it's highly recommended that districts in Oregon pass these through. We do have, I think, a $2,000 grant to utilize. It's just not going to cost $2,000. It's going to be a lot of money to get these through. So Raptor provides multiple alerting methods to enable staff to silently and more expediently call for help during emergencies. So it enables users to initiate an alert via a wearable badge. So every staff member would put it in a pocket or something, but it would be a badge that every staff member would be wearing. The Raptor Alert mobile panic app. So there'd be an app also that they'd have on their phones. So they can initiate on their phones or any web-enabled device, including cellular, Wi-Fi, and hardwired connections throughout the entire campus. So basically, you would have an alarm button. Basically, if there's a person in the building, you'll have an alarm in that spot, no matter what in the building. It would integrate with existing digital security systems, maps, and peripherals through the Raptor Connect bidirectional integration platform. In other words, they have a whole system that they would come in and they would go through a process to implement it within our system that we currently have running for the district. I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but according to Abby, they would come in and that's a big implementation fee for the district. And then it's compatible with all standard public safety answering points and emergency calling infrastructure. So it's our fire, it's our police, it's our I Love You Guys program that we have in the district that we follow those protocols. The cost, so this is a one-time fee, is $4,100. And that allows for the configuration of external systems, so connecting to their system, emergency management implementation, basic training, badge alert implementation, and then badge alert training for all staff, and then also the shipping costs. So that's $4,100. recurring costs. So this would be annual costs that you have for the district. So there's an emergency management, which includes the Raptor alert, the link, the drill manager, accountability, and reunification aspect of their plans that they built. And it also has the Raptor badge alert. So that's emergency management suite. So I believe that's the whole infrastructure of how the system works. Abby can log into that along with, I'm sure, administrator too. I don't know what the gateways means. It's be the locator beacons, badges, and wireless backup plans. That is $7,200 annually. So just to get off the ground with discounts, it was $11,500 to get going. We're just a few $100s shy of $10,000 to get this off the ground.
And we're getting $2,000 grant?
Correct. We did not budget for it this year. I'm just being honest with you. This would be, as Abby said, this would be the Cadillac model. This would be if you want full security for the district. In today's world, should something happen, this is what you would get. And so I'm still waiting to hear from Verkada to see what that's going to be. I don't at all think it's going to cost $10,000 to get that. We already have the system embedded in the district already running their systems. I'm assuming it's just a matter of the cost of training and getting these alarm buttons, whatever they look like, put in the district. So I don't know if you have any feedback to provide, but that's what I have at least for the extreme. And I can't imagine we'll be.
I guess my concern would be is how robust they are with our environment out here with power outages, internet outages, and all that type of stuff. How are they backboned?
Yep.
To keep working. So
Well, and then the concern that I have is, say something happens, how long before law enforcement can get out here?
that's going to be
That's gonna be. a
40
nightmare.
minutes, probably average.
Yeah.
Normal time.
I think for this, because I remember it was through Alyssa's law or not, but there was a moment where the school shooting and one of the teachers or multiple teachers pressed a button and everybody, alarms went off or however those things work, and they're able to look on their mobile devices, find out where that button was pressed. So they knew they had time, and time is obviously very key for people to exit and move away. And so I don't know, same thing I'm thinking as you, but in an instance, if it were to be that level of extreme, that part I don't think matters as much as giving people notice to get out and go in another direction.
So every staff member essentially would have to have the alert, and then that alert would alert them.
Correct. Yep.
Audible.
They would all go down, they would all go off. Versus the system, I'm anticipating that we would have in the district, don't quote me, but I'm just assuming it would give some sort of alert through at least the system here. Somebody probably have to get on the call. Maybe it's integrated in the system, I don't know, where the alarms would go off automatically. I don't know that answer. But
Usually, if the alarm went off on any given day, it would be lockdown mode, right?
Correct.
Wouldn't be going anywhere, it'd just be closing down where you're at.
you
But
just-
if the perpetrator's already in the building, you lock down.
and you wouldn't know where they're at in the building either.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to just run down the hall because they
No,
would be
true,
right there all the way. Right, no, I agree. I
He's
mean,
locked in.
You're half one, half the other at that point. I mean,
I mean, it's something to look into, but it's going to be very involved in trying to get everything
Be a
in
lot of
order so that.
training and protocol to develop for that.
So I'll provide my input with the other. I'm not making a decision whether we do this yet or not. I will make a recommendation.
Well, I don't think we're immune to any of this just because we're out here.
Yeah.
It could happen to us, and just like it can happen in town.
We had a conversation the other day when they're on generator power here, it doesn't run the office.
Right.
So the office is very limited on what you have. So, that sparked a whole other rabbit hole for me, but
Yeah.
we need to figure out how to have, when the internet's down, if we have a Starlink backup, at least so the office has a way to get out cellular through
Blue Eddy
Starlink.
works real good.
What's that?
Blue Eddy works real good.
Does it?
I've got one. I love it. For when we have small power outages.
Is it like a satellite?
I just hook Elon up to it and
Elon?
and
You have Elon in your house?
I do. I just plug him in. I mean, because I have a little battery backup, and I've got 15 minutes to plug Elon into either the big generator or the little one.
Right.
And if I can plug Elon, I can plug the TV, I can plug the coffee pot, and it'll run all day. And it's just a little box that sits in, and when it's dead, power comes back on, I just plug him in and charge him back up. Again, Oh, you don't have it,
Just
you don't
like
have
the
it like that.
Yeah, we have some similar stuff.
But I mean, if we have a big outage, then I'd fire up the big generators, but for just something that's in the afternoon and it's no big deal.
Yeah,
No, that's-
power to keep you on.
Yeah,
We just need to have some sort of way of,
yeah, they're
central
wonderful.
service needs to be, to be able to get out or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah.
If we gotta get messages.
I mean, you could put it in the office and just
Right.
plug stuff,
Our current generator only basically runs
it just runs the emergency stuff.
water and lighting and the pumps.
Yeah.
Doesn't run the HVAC.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, there's a lot to look at when we get to that point of, and that's something that needs to be on the radar at some point, in the next few years to see what we need to add or what we might.
I don't think we're gonna wait years. I had that conversation with Ms. Hines, Abby, our tech person here.
Right.
I know Starlink, that's something I'd like to get the district moved to eventually. We just have the bandwidth yet they could provide us, but I'm intrigued with what you just said also, because when the power goes out, and I think about that also with this system as well, but the central office can't function.
Mhm.
We literally can't function.
Mhm.
So what's an interim process to get that, till we get something more powerful?
Yeah, I mean, Starlink's bandwidth, I can see that being the issue for everything, not
Yes.
enough, but it's enough to keep the office running and essential
Uh-huh.
communications going if we gotta get out. So. Anyway, lots of options there, I guess. The panic alarm thing, I think, hopefully we get a better number and some better options. And
It's a lot of money.
Okay, any more discussion? 9.3, high school sex ed, health curriculum update.
So I'm just gonna read what I put down here. The district has completed the curriculum preview application for Human Kinetics Live Well Comprehensive High School Health Curriculum and are awaiting final approval of our application, which ironically, guess what came in late afternoon. There it is right there. I haven't even had a chance to go through it. Once this has been approved, which I've gone through enough to know that it has, the district will receive access to both online versions of the teaching planning books as well as student books. And so there's hard book copies that we can get in, and then I have to go through a process to get access online. These items will not encompass the entire curriculum. The sex ed components are not in the hard copies. They'll only be on the online copies. I don't know why that is. Like I said, I haven't gone through all this. I just briefly took a look at it before I walked down here. But they'll provide a sample of the scope and sequence of the whole curriculum for the health curriculum for the high school. Currently, it's the only high school health curriculum that is fully approved by the state of Oregon in all of the following categories. So alignment to health education, strengths-based approach, health literacy and analysis, comprehensive sexuality education and violence abuse prevention, engagement motivation, culture responsive instructional support. It's got its lowest markings for supports for teachers because the embedded links, there are no embedded links in the teachers' manuals. And so they want opportunities for teachers to be able to go beyond just what the books and online components have, and they don't have that. It has great remarks for supports for students, digital design elements, formative assessment, performance assessments, integrated assessments, and all legal requirements it meets. It is the only one for high school. So once the district has been provided access, which again, looks like we have, I can officially have them delivered, and then online, I believe I can get that access this week. We will notify the school board and community and provide for a process for reviewing the materials as well as a space to provide comments and suggestions. So I just want to give you that update.
Okay, any discussion? 9.4, House Bill 2684, Integrated Pest Management Plan.
And so this should have been in your packet. I don't want to go through all this, but this is basically what guides our head of maintenance. And I'll be upfront with you, there's a lot of components going on in the district. This is one that I need to jump in a little bit more to make sure that all these are being done to fruition. I'm talking every single aspect of this one. So this is now freshly on my desk going through this. And I've had conversations with our head of maintenance, but as we transition into a new individual, obviously this will be another main point of conversation with them. So I need to present it to you guys. It's not an action item, I just need to make sure I present it to you.
Present it. Thank you. 9.5, grants, integrated programs.
Okay, final one. So this might be, I don't know, it's not going to impact our district as much as it will for sure other districts that rely upon the state school fund. So based on a financial forecast showing a potential state budget shortfall for this school year, mid-year, that's a scary thing to hear. The Oregon Department of Education, ODE, was directed to prepare for a possible mid-year 5% reduction to the state school fund. Also the student investment accounts, that does hit us, and high school success, that also hits us. And those are oftentimes programs in many districts that fund positions. So you know what I'm saying right there. When I say reducing those costs. Some districts are already putting plans in place to reduce staff mid-year. So this directive came from Governor Kotek, but the cuts have not been yet finalized. So this has not been 100% moved forward yet. This is all due to a less than positive state and federal revenue forecast. I think we're where it's going at the federal level for a number of things. The corporate activity tax, which is known as CAT, which funds the Student Success Act, saw a $44 million drop in its summer revenue forecast. So that news came out a couple months ago. Governor Kotek put this motion forward, I believe, just a few weeks ago. It was a big topic amongst all the superintendents. At the federal level, the U.S. government announced it was withholding federal education grants from some states, but that has not had an impact currently on our district. Another part of the issue is that school districts are facing rising costs from inflation, growing student needs, especially in the field of special education. I cannot claim how much that 11% cap that all the districts have to, or that districts receive is not enough. It is just not enough. We have our consortium, obviously we funnel for a lot of supports over on the coast, but also here in the district. And our costs continue to rise, I believe, and they continue to rise because the need is there. But nothing else is following suit with our state or federally to help assist as much as we would like. Also higher operating expenses. So the state school fund is not keeping pace with these costs. Again, we currently aren't on there, but we need to be aware of this in case we are going to be jumping into that boat soon. For most schools, state funding is tied to student numbers, which results in obviously less revenue. As the more kids you have, at the business standpoint, that's money for the district. As for impacts that are affecting funds, our district utilizes both the student investment account, that's SIA, and high school success, HSS. So the SIA provides grants to districts to improve student outcomes. I've written our district's SIA vision since Principal Wood and Superintendent Phillips were here. I've been doing it ever since. I haven't stopped doing it for the district. And it specifically targets historically underserved students and focuses on student health, safety, and academic success. And then high school success, also once known as Measure 98, if you were used to that terminology from years ago, provides grants to increase graduation rates through career technical education, which we've been working quite strongly with and making even more connections through superintendent meetings. You're going to hear more throughout the year, and college level opportunities and dropout prevention strategies. So for many districts, SSF, SIA, and high school success. So the two grants plus the state school fund are utilized to fund staffing for programs, and the 5% reduction could lead to significant cuts, state staff layoffs, and reduction to school days to help address the budget shortfalls. For the Jewel School District, I put here, we will be okay, we'll be all right, as we do have some positions partially funded out of both SIA and high school success, and we have enough in reserves, although I don't want to spend reserves, but we would have enough in there to support any revenue loss with these two grants, because we didn't fund fully out of all of these grants, our staffing. Kind of like COVID times. I find it difficult why people would be funding positions out of COVID funds, knowing those are going to expire. And they did, and then all of a sudden many districts are, oh no. I'm not sure what they were thinking. Again, at this time, the 5% cuts have not been approved, but many districts are preparing for this mid-year budget shortfall. I'll keep you apprised as I hear more. So I don't know how much we're going to lose out versus SIA and high school success. Student investment account, Tammy, I'm just throwing this out of my head. 218,000, I think is what we have.
Out of the what? SIA?
Mhm.
Yes.
And high school
Close,
success, so
yeah.
we're about 60, 64.
Closer down to 58, 59.
Okay. So we got a reduction from last year. Okay. So I don't know how much that's going to impact our district, but we do fund staffing out of both of those, just so you're aware. And then also student opportunities, as somebody mentioned, getting our kids out there. TJ mentioned getting out there.
Well, not too far anymore.
It was
So, I mean, that kind of,
So a lot of our SA funds do.
the Elk Refuge, maybe.
So
Danger,
that's,
danger over
yeah,
there,
that's
too.
the report there.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I didn't end on a high note, I'm sorry.
I guess, yeah, thanks for that
Corey,
horrible report.
did you say that would potentially impact our career tech, like the ag program?
Again, it depends how we fund the district. So if we were to fund fully a good amount of out of the SA, yeah, that would have an impact. But we'll make it through this year. But we, as a district, when we go forward and plan for the next round, we will need to make some adjustments based on what how the money's gonna lay out.
Okay.
So have to be aware how we're doing that.
Yeah. Any more discussion? The audience clarifications? Okay, board of directors time. Go ahead, Patty.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm going back to the football games. I am so pleased with the way our boys have been playing. The sportsmanship that those kids, children, students, whatever, show on the football field is outstanding. I mean, the one kid made a touchdown, fell down. Our kids went up, actually helped him up off the ground, congratulated him on the touchdown. I mean, our kids are wonderful kids. They're great. And
Too nice.
on that football field, but no, it's, yeah, I mean, when they're out playing, they have it all together. And these kids, they're shaking the other team's hand. They're helping them up. I mean, they're not nasty. They're nice kids when they're out there. And the sportsmanship that they're displaying on the field is just outstanding. I see it a little bit reciprocated from the other teams, but not as well as our team does. Newsletter, I was thrilled with the newsletter that came out. I mean, it had a lot of good information in it. Yeah.
Another one coming out in a few weeks.
Oh, good. And the attendance to the football games from the community, outstanding. And the first one was overwhelming. Second one, people came late, but they still filled the stands. Third one, same thing. So, but yeah, it was great. It's great.
And I've heard a lot of feedback too from the community on the games, you know, I mean, people coming out for Friday night games has been huge, so having that back is definitely, you know,
So
I think
that
I
thing-
missed one, but it's all been pretty good.
Yeah, and I think showing that the community can support is a big thing, and we just need to keep that momentum going. And so this is gonna lead into that, homecoming. How come it's not on a football night?
It is on football.
No, the
on Halloween.
football game is Halloween, homecoming is not till,
Oh, right, okay, right, yeah, actual.
it's community
Okay, I'm
info.
surprised it's on actual Halloween too. the game.
I am too, I
So,
was,
hopefully, maybe they could do, I was thinking that yesterday, they could do something, maybe the school can put something out about trying to get kids to, if they're gonna trick or treating, people can bring candy here to give it to
They're
them.
trying to do a trunk or treat at the game itself.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that'd be,
yeah.
We're working on
because
that.
I've had a lot of people ask me already, like, well, I bought candy, I'm not gonna have anybody now, so I'm
I
like,
mean,
well, bring
nobody
it to the
comes to
game.
our house anyway, but still, it's just, you
Right.
know, there's a lot of people that do come up the road for Halloween, and if you're not there, so. But homecoming, why wasn't that put on a football night? Like I mean, it's always been that way.
I don't know if it has been the last couple of years,
Well,
it
you
seems
know-
like it's been.
And I know Jeff Weber's also talked about bringing a trailer, not on the track, but it's already at the barn. Kids, Dr. Freeman, the kids are going to decorate it.
Yeah.
So for the football game, he's going to bring the tractor. They're going to wheel it around the gravel to the back of the stadium and escort the court off. So
Now, are they gonna do that on Halloween night?
Mhm.
Okay, but then the homecoming
on
dance
Saturday.
is on Saturday, okay, okay. Because that was kind of, but why are they not combining
Is the bonfire that night?
Thursday?
That I don't know. He said
Okay.
Thursday.
Okay,
So they're not driving on the track. Can we not drive on it structurally wise?
No, there's a weight limit that would damage the track. Yeah.
so they will have part of homecoming on
Correct.
the football game and then,
Mhm.
okay. All right, so I have,
Director Dietrich?
Talking about the goals, it's important that we do that. I like doing that. We should do it more. Sounds like there's a lot of people out sick. That's no good. There's another thing going around that there's an uptick in head lice. I don't know if you guys are seeing that too, or if it's just rumor mill.
Yeah, I can't say specifically other than there was a case that I'm aware of that was all in a specific location and it was all done and taken care of.
Yeah, so I just, again, just rumor mill, right? But I know that we just updated a policy on that. I was just wondering if we are keeping policy
We are,
in
yeah.
our forefront.
We are,
So, okay.
especially at the end of that policy, if you know what I'm referencing.
Yep.
We have to have well documented before we get to the end of that policy.
Sure.
We are.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, very good.
You saw a notice go home also from the district. It was a all message and it was referencing supports for what to look for and how to,
Yeah.
that was step one.
Good.
That's following policy.
Good. Perfect. All right. That's all I had. Thank you.
I just want to echo Patty's synopsis of our training, very worthwhile. I'm glad we were there. It was good to see folks come in. And speaking of our goals, and, you know, in my brain, I keep overarching all that Corey's vision of making this a destination. And a lot of the stuff we're doing right now is fairly foundational, but I can see direct lines tracking all the way to getting to be a destination for teachers and activities and the community. And so I just feel like I'm not an expert in this stuff, but I just feel like we are doing some excellent foundational level setting right now. And the thought processes we're going to go through to do some goal setting, I think is all going to be really worthwhile. And I'm excited that, you know, the board seems to we're in alignment with what we're trying to accomplish. So I'm looking forward to all these goal setting activities.
Yeah, I don't have much. Football games have been great. Volleyball games have been great. I think I've hit most of the home games. I think they're done now, depending on what happens with the makeup game tonight, but most likely won't be here, I don't think, right? Yeah, so.
Did they finally get a game going tonight?
No,
Have we heard? No?
I got a message that they canceled. So, yeah. So hopefully, yeah. Bummer deal for senior night too.
Oh, yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah, football's been, great. Enjoyed
And
doing the
especially our
change.
team is so young, and
Yeah,
they're
they-
doing such a good job.
And their sportsmanship has been huge because they've had some rough games. This coming Friday, they're playing Triangle Lake, which is #1 for six-man football. And they beat the team that they played last week, Eddyville, pretty substantially, I think. So this
But at
Friday.
least it
is
wasn't a
gonna be-
shutout for us
Right.
with Eddyville. I mean, that was good.
Right, yeah. It wasn't looking good until right before halftime, but
Yeah.
it was a sign of hope, right? Yeah. And the kids, they kept a great attitude. I even, on the change, are over there with the opposing team.
Mhm.
So it's really kind of hard to root for your team, I heard, because if I did, I was getting a lot of looks. But the other team would actually, I can't remember who, if it was a quarterback, and I can't remember, it was a throwback thing where he tossed the ball back and then the other kid threw it. And it was a heck of a throw. We didn't catch it, but it was a really good throw, probably a 40-yard throw. And the other team's quarterback, who was already out of the game, he was on the sidelines, he was yelling, he goes, "Who threw that ball to our quarterback?" And, the kids waved. He's like, "Yeah, that was a good throw." I'm like, I don't remember that type of stuff in football. I mean, nobody ever said anything
No,
like
you
that
never
to
were
you.
nice to the other
I
team.
was like, where's this coming from? But yeah, it was interesting.
They were great.
So yeah, that's all I got. I'm glad the testing was great. I'd like to. I did ask Corey about maybe if we can get a report back on the opt-in out, like how much do we have for opting in or out? But I think it's pretty good that we get a pretty substantial opt-in.
And I do want to say I'm a little frustrated with our local newspaper because they did a story on it. And they referenced, we're going to go do a rundown of Clatsop County schools, and they only did Astoria, Napa, and Seaside. What? They didn't reach out to Warrenton or Jewel. And this is something I was waiting, because every year they reach out to the districts, wait for it, and we didn't get anything, as a brand new reporter. So I'll reach the reporter tomorrow to say, hey. But it would have been nice to have that celebration.
Yeah, we got to take the wins when we can get them, so. Oh, okay, well, good. Future items, we have building use fee schedule, staff handbook. I know Corey has been working on it, about that done.
Yep.
And GASB 54 policy. If there's anything else we want to get on there, we can throw on. We can keep the board goals discussion on the agenda a little bit, keep moving forward, and I think Elise will probably reach out to Pace a little bit on maybe some scheduling. And some of those classes, we can see what days might work.
Okay.
So,
Because I mean, they were really emphatic that they would make the time to come and be here when we could have them come. I mean, that came through on every one of the sessions that they did, is it?
I feel like if we can do it on the PD day and get that, I don't want to do the same thing
Yeah.
that they're having to do, I guess. But I mean, it's all that's going to help us with our liability issues and our insurance costs and everything else. So it should all be good stuff. So, okay, 13.0, motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion?
I make motion to adjourn. I don't know what time it is.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it at 7:30.
Motion to adjourn at 7:30. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? All right, thank you. Thank you.
I'm glad you guys went to that because like that's why I'm so,
We're gonna stop that.
not really against that senior trip, but like the trip, I mean, I go to those and I hear about it and like, but that's why we have the fundraiser